back. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. Here with the always lovely and talented Andrea Kay, and the always incredible Urban Norris. We have the always wonderful and beautiful Eve Nasby sitting in the background. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just had to get even with her. So, and we have our next in-studio guest with us. Welcome, Mr. John Correia from the American Diabetes Association.
Thank you for having me.
Great. So tell us, we know what American Diabetes Association is, does a wonderful job in the public. Tell us what your role is with them.
I'm the Associate Director of Special Events and Fundraising. Okay. And I get out and try and work with different companies, employers, and individuals that are trying to make a difference in the diabetic community, trying to stop the rampant growth of diabetes throughout our country.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of diabetes-related topics on the show. We had, love this guy, Kevin Sayre from Dexcom on a while back, does a fabulous job. I have a guy, I don't know when they're coming in, but we were contacted with another piece of technology that's supposed to be another state-of-the-art glucose monitor. Don't know whether it's real or not, but we're going to find out. So a lot of great stuff. So tell us what's going on with the association and in your world.
Well, this is our 75th anniversary year, and so the American Diabetes Association is working to continuously improve is continuously working to improve the progress in diabetes research as well as advocacy and education. And for 2015, we started our Wellness Lives Here program, which is a 6-part program designed specifically for organizations, companies that want to make a difference for their employees and their well-being at the company. There's a health champion designation portion, mission engagement days, which specifically allow the company to revolve around specific things to try and highlight the importance of diet and exercise and those types of things related to diabetes. We also have our Stop Diabetes at Work area, which is resources available for different employers. We have several signature events here in San Diego. We have a bike ride, which is our Tour de Cure, which happens at the Del Mar Fairgrounds in April. And we have our Step Out Walk, which happens in October. In this particular year, it's October 18th. At the NTC Park in Liberty Station. We also have healthy living resources that are available through our website and also in print. And finally, we do a CEO leadership circle, which allows the different organization leadership to be involved with ways that they can help their organization and their individuals stop diabetes.
I know we want to talk a little bit about the Step Out Walk, but what are you doing with the CEO leadership? Let me ask you about that first.
So the first thing we do is we bring leadership from different companies, CEOs in particular, together, and we talk to them about how diabetes affects their organization and the things that they can do to improve the productivity of employees, not just within that are affected by diabetes, but within their work pool in general, because we're out there trying to prevent people from getting diabetes as well as helping those with.
How prevalent is diabetes? I mean, we know the problem, and I just don't know the extent. So, and I know Urban probably has a lot more information than I do. But tell us how much of an impact diabetes has on American workers today.
So in an organization of about 1,000 people, you would expect to have about 150 people with diabetes.
Wow.
And that's a higher percentage than I would have thought.
Yeah. And about 1/3 of those do not even realize that they have diabetes at the time. So it can be fairly large. In any given day, over 200 people will lose their lives as a result of diabetes. Wow. And 200 people will lose their limbs as a result of diabetes.
Wow.
Some people don't realize this, but as a medical cost alone, it is the largest single cost we have in medicine and healthcare in the nation if you add all the complications related to diabetes associated. Matter of fact, Canada has just reported that their health system will go bankrupt just due to diabetes in the next 5 years.
Wow.
It's going rampant. It's going all over the country, everything from our lifestyles. And, of course, diabetes is 2 different types of conditions, type 1 and type 2. And those who don't even know they have diabetes almost always have type 2 diabetes.
Yeah.
So diabetes will cost the United States $671 million in the next 24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a gigantic expense to our society. And that's, of course, loss of productivity, loss of time at work, the medications and loss of life and all of those components.
And diabetes and the care of it is the single highest medical expense by our Veterans Administration. It's 24% of the VA healthcare budget.
Wow.
Well, the good news is, though, is that a lot of it is preventable.
Correct. And it's one of the great things about, well, I shouldn't say great things, but with diabetes, people have the opportunity to take an active role in changing the outcomes for themselves individually and for those around them. Unlike something like cancer or something like that, where you don't have anything to do with what's going to happen. With diabetes, you can have an impact on the outcomes, whether it's type 1 or type 2, by doing different things, either through medication, lifestyle changes, and things like that to help control what's going on for you.
Yeah. And the disease has advanced, the care, the education has advanced so much. 48 years ago is when I was diagnosed.
Right.
And it's, back then it was glass needles and glass syringes, and you had to boil your needles and sharpen them with an emery board. It's nothing like that today.
Yeah. Well, the reason that I wanted to ask about the CEO leadership group is because I think it all starts at the top and works down. And, we talked with Eve earlier about how it's not just veterans. If you hire a veteran under the right circumstances, you'll get a tax credit of up to $9,600. That applies to people with diabetes. If there's the right cause and circumstance in there behind it, let's get the word out. How many of these CEOs know all the different peripheral stuff? I mean, they all support what you do, but do they really understand it so they know how to support it adequately and accurately? That's what I was driving at.
Right.
Right.
So you're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with Andrea Kay, Urban Miaris, and our guest is Mr. John Correia from the American Diabetes Association. So, and I know one of your big things you wanted to talk about today was the Step Out Walk to Stop Diabetes. So tell us more about that one.
Yes, our Step Out Walk is October 18th at the picturesque NTC Park in Liberty Station. You can arrive as early as 8 o'clock in the morning on that Sunday morning. One of the great things about walks in general is that they get people active, and there are many different organizations that have walks, but what our walks helps people to understand is that walking in particular, and people come out and they run, they walk. It's also very dog friendly. Bring your whole family. People with wheelchairs come out as well. It makes a difference for you yourself right then. And so we are very hopeful that people will take that walk and launch into more active activities within their life, meaning walking, running, and any other types of things, taking the stairs to get to work each day. Those kinds of things can make a huge difference in a person's life.
Now, how long have you been involved with the Diabetes Association, and how did you get involved in this work?
Well, I've done charity work for about the last 20 years. I ended up getting involved because I had a son that was born, and I decided that I wanted to make a very big difference in the world in preparation for him entering into the world. And so I made a huge change, and I started doing a lot of work with charity. I've worked with the American Diabetes Association for about 6 years now, and I've been on staff at the American Diabetes Association for a little bit less than a year at this point. And it's been a really, really exciting thing. I mean, just to see all of the people and the kids and to hear the stories of things that people have gone through and what they have done to persevere against a disease which far too often is hidden to people.
Right.
You can't see from the outside that somebody has diabetes, and a lot of times the individual themselves don't realize that they have diabetes and the things that they go through as they are struggling with that.
And every day they're learning something new. It's like I said, when I was first diagnosed, he said I wouldn't live 20 years.
Right.
And here I am, 48 years later, and healthier now than I was when I was first diagnosed with the disease.
Unfortunately, though, while there's been advancements in treatments, we have a society to where we're not taking care of ourselves and eating right. I'm Guilty. I'm sitting there looking at a box of chocolates I brought into the studio today. I hope I'm not contributing to anybody's glucose levels or whatever you call it. But it's almost an epidemic right now in the country, isn't it? Am I making too big a statement?
No, you are not. Actually, the CDC has classified it as a pandemic. So
really?
That is correct. This is a huge issue. It is affecting us in every way. Even if you as an individual do not specifically have diabetes, it is affecting your family. It's affecting your coworkers. It is affecting us as a society. We are very, very hopeful that we will start to see the tide change. But if things do continue as they are right now, by 2050, 1 in 3 children that are born today will have diabetes by 2050. We are very hopeful to be able to make changes to that. And we're not the food police. We're not people going out saying you can't drink this or eat that. We're the people that try to provide education so that people can make the best choice for themselves. And we want everybody to be able to be healthy and safe when it comes to their well-being. And we just try to provide the information and activities that make that the case.
Right. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of families that listen to the show. What would you say are some of the key symptoms that people see, or what would we look out for to determine whether diabetes is on the horizon for one of us?
So usually what you'll see is somebody has extreme thirst that they just can't quench. So they'll be going through the day, they'll be drinking a lot, and they drink more, and then they drink even more, and they just feel like they can't quench their thirst. You'll also see a person oftentimes going to the restroom a lot. Usually if a person realizes that they're waking up in the middle of the night 2 or 3 times, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have diabetes, but these are all little indicators that they would want to go through. In March, we have what is called our Alert Day, in which we go through and we set up different places around the county and do risk tests. And they're little 8-question risk tests that a person can go through and quickly answer to let them know whether or not they should be having a conversation with their doctor about the potential for diabetes. And you can go online and take a look at that. That's diabetes.org/SoCal risk test and take a quick test on that. We really want to help people to understand what's going on for themselves.
Yeah.
But Barry, the vast majority have no clues. There are no symptoms until they get a cold or they get a sore that doesn't heal. That cold doesn't, they think they got a flu that's been with them forever until they go to the doctor and get a simple blood test and find out.
That's correct. Most people that have a heart attack or a stroke, they are generally finding out while they are there being treated for that, provided they survive the original incident, they're usually finding out that they have diabetes. And for a very large percentage of those people, that's the first time they have that conversation with their doctor.
Yeah, and back from my career, we find out a lot of things happen. A lot of people find out what's going wrong with their bodies when they go through a life insurance test.
Oh, yeah.
Like, remember Magic Johnson? I mean, it was HIV, but at the same point, that's how he found out.
Yeah, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, I mean, imagine you're going to apply for a large policy, and it's like, well, hold on a second. You've got a chronic illness, and you didn't even know about it. Now maybe you've gotten turned down, or...
Yeah, it's not even a large policy anymore, but just make sure, for our listeners, if you go out and you get a life insurance test, you go to the doctor just for a medical test, ask them for the results, get the results. They'll tell you there. But in life insurance, there are privacy and HIPAA-related issues. You got to ask for those results and let them take a look at it, and if nothing else, take it down to your doctor.
Right.
So we're running short on time. Tell our listeners how they find out more about you and all the efforts that you're putting forth.
Sure. You can reach out to us through our website, diabetes.org/StepOutSanDiego. You can also call our free number, 1-888-DIABETES, and you want to go to extension 7510 to get directly to our San Diego offices.
Great. Well, we want to keep the offer open with you. Anytime you have anything, we'll send you out the information on a weekly basis. Get us all of these events. We'll post them up on the show for you. And I would love to be involved with your CEO leadership group, because that would be wonderful for us and them, and we can help you promote and talk about the issues out there that need to be talked about.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks for being with us. This is Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.